This is the 3 Arts Workshop, week 4, and in rhetoric we're thinking about 2 different kinds of proof. There are 2 kinds of proof in the classical rhetorical tradition: inartificial and artificial proof. Inartificial proof is that which exists before the rhetorician sets to work on creating an argument. The givens, the data. So for example, testimony, writings, laws. Artificial proof may be summarized by those 3 sources of appeal: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos, the credibility of the speaker. Pathos, moving appeals from the speaker. And logos, arguments, rational persuasion. Ethos is related to character. Pathos is related to the emotions. And logos is related to the mind. So you might think about goodness, beauty, and truth as being correspondent to ethos, pathos, logos. What we want to be able to do is identify whether something is inartificial or artificial proof. And if it is artificial proof, to be able to answer whether this particular form of appeal belongs to ethos, pathos, or logos. So, what about a rousing anecdote at the close of a speech? Inartificial or artificial proof? Well, that's something that's made up by the rhetorician. So, we know that it's artificial proof, and since we're observing here that it's a rousing anecdote intended to move, we can also see that it is pathos related, has to do with the emotions. What about a quotation from a diary that reveals an author's ties to communism? Well, I ask myself, is this something that exists before the rhetorician sets to work on constructing an argument? Yes. This is part of the argument. It's inductive support for an argument. So we see that it's inartificial. What about an inductive argument from observed facts? Well, as long as we're not talking about the observed facts themselves, and we're talking about an argument constructed from facts, we would see that that's the result of the rhetorical agent. That's the product of the rhetor. So that's an artificial proof. And since it's an argument made by induction, we can identify it as an argument, an appeal to logos. That's what you want to be able to do for this quiz. Identify whether something is inartificial proof or artificial proof. And again, inartificial proof is what proof is already available to the rhetor, what exists apart from his agency. And artificial proof is what proof the rhetor furnishes from his own agency. Inartificial or artificial, and if we're looking at artificial proof, we want to be able to say whether it's ethos, pathos, or logos. Ethos, something to do with the rhetorician's character. Pathos, something that has to do with emotional appeal. Or logos, a rational appeal.